Hello, welcome back to Laura's Palmer. Today's another true crime video. Today's case will be the Night Stalker cases because, yeah, I'm making a video about Richard Ramirez, about the Night Stalker, and I'm gonna go through, I think, almost all of his, unalivings, murders. So, very graphic. A lot of, like, just torture, very, very graphic stuff. So, that's that. Yeah, and we're gonna go into his childhood and just all of his crimes, his getting caught, and until the very end of old boy's life. So yeah, you might have heard of Richard Ramirez. He's one of those attractive serial killers that people make edits of. I'm gonna insert one just for the fun of it.
She's nearly indistinct.
Because I think it's ridiculous. I think it's crazy. We're gonna talk about some of these people who've literally lost their lives to the hands of this man, and you're making edits. Okay. Alright. So, first, I have a little overview here. Like, I'm gonna go through this quickly so you can kind of know the vibe that we're going for, and you will know if this is interesting to you or not. Let's go. Year of the crimes, 1984 to 1985, so only 1 year killing spree. His legal name, Richard Ramirez, Ricardo Leyva Munoz Ramirez. Nickname, the Night Stalker, Valley Intruder, the Walk-In Killer. Crimes, 13 murders, 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. Victims, I'm gonna do my best to pronounce their names. I'm really sorry if I mess up any pronunciation. Also, my handwriting's kind of shit, so I'm gonna have like maybe a little trouble getting the name, but I'm getting there, okay? Okay. Jenny Vinko, Dale Okazaki, Cylian Veronica Yu, Vincent Zazzara, Maxine Zazzara, William Dole, Mabel Bell, Mary Louise Cannon, Joyce Lucille Nelson, Max Needing, Layla Needing, Chainarong Covenant, Elias Applewath, and Mei Lung. So the weapons that he used to take the lives of these people were knives, 22 caliber shotguns, 25 caliber shotgun, cables, and heavy objects. Alright, so that is a quick little overview of Richard Ramirez, okay? So what we're gonna first talk about here is his childhood. So, his father, Mercedes Munoz Ramirez, was physically abusive towards him, his siblings, and his wife. So, abusive household, which is pretty common, honestly. Not always, but pretty common for serial killers and people, I wouldn't say like Ramirez, but with the same problems as him. Yeah. So, why am I saying then? Richard started using like marijuana and alcohol at the young age of 10 years old. So already brain getting fucked up, bit getting beat, not great for a child, not great for any child, not great. At 12, he was taken under the wings of his older cousin. His cousin is Mike Ramirez, who's also a serial killer and a rapist during his time in the Vietnam War. So, this is also common. Men taking advantage of their positions as military forces and abusing, I guess, the families of the opponents, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, it's fucking great. Love it. Protecting America, aren't you? He showed Richard, a 12-year-old, pictures of Vietnamese women who he had raped, dismembered, murdered, and or decapitated. So he literally show him like bodies, like he's 12, doing drugs, getting beat, and then he goes to his older cousin for a safe space. Oh, here's a picture of a dismembered dead body. Where's her head? I have another picture. What the fuck is this family? Okay. Richard did not find this alarming though, or traumatizing. Like he said, like he doesn't, to him, like this doesn't matter, but obviously, regardless of what he says, because Richard says a bunch of things, it had to have done something to him as a child. It does. Like that obviously impacts you as a child. Period. Don't argue with me, little boy. When he was 14, his sister's husband and Mike, the cousin that took him under his wing, would go on night walks and spy on women, like, through windows and other, like, weird, just voyeurism, fun stuff. At 14, he also became, I think that might have meant to say began LSD, so I think at 14 he started using acids and, psychedelics. Adding even more to, like, now, so like, you see, like, this kid, this is still Richard Ramirez as a child, like, there's nothing really helping him, but this also doesn't mean it's an excuse, because there are a bunch of kids who are probably going through the same thing, almost, as we speak, who will not become serial killers. Like, there's nothing to excuse your, like, need to torture and take the lives of other people, regardless of how bad your childhood was. That's not an excuse. Around that same time, he began having sexual fantasies of dead, mutilated bodies. Oh, so you don't think it impacted you? Okay. Rapes, forced bondage, there's two meanings. There's a state of being a slave or tying up. So, there's two meanings for that. So he was imagining either having a slave, like a sexual slave, or forcibly tying someone up. Or both. In his adolescence, he had a job on Holiday Inn, where he molested 2 boys in an elevator, but was never caught. That has a question mark there, because so how the fuck do you know this? Did he just tell you? Whatever. Or maybe the boys complained, but he was just like, no, I didn't do it, and then they were just like, whatever, he didn't do it. I don't know. But he doesn't have he's molesting. Okay, I have a quote here that I don't know why it's written here, but it is. So we're gonna say it. This is from Richard. You don't understand me. You are not expected to. You are not capable of it. I am beyond your experience. I am beyond good and evil. Okay. He also raped a woman at the end. But he was caught and beat by her husband, and then that was it for, like, the end. Boom. Like, and then that's what we know of his adolescence. What we get after, Richard's 22, okay? He's 22, and then he starts coke and robbing homes to sustain his coke addiction. So already here, we went through 22 years of Richard's life. Abused, exposed to graphic content regarding torture, mutilation, decapitation, dismemberment, rape, and murder. Voyeurism, and then he molested kids, and then he raped a woman. And then he's on coke, and then he's robbing people. Hi. Hello, my name's Richard Ramirez. Okay. Little point that I guess I forgot. Oh, well, I should see my fucking arrow, bitch. Dumb bitch, look at your fucking arrows. But yeah, so at 14, that's when he started his little love for Satanism. I knew about this, I didn't know if I should spoil it. But yeah, and then this also it slips its way through his murders. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. Okay. Murders and attempted murders. Let's go. April 10, 1984. Richard Ramirez murders Mei Leung. 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 Mei, I'm just gonna call her Mei because I don't know how to pronounce her last name and I don't want to keep butchering it. Mei was 9 years old when Richard lured her in his basement, claiming to have lost his $10. He beat, strangled, raped, and stabbed Mei Ling, causing her to pass away. He then hung her body from a pipe by her blouse. He was not suspected for this murder. So he lured this little girl, and from what I understood, from what I can remember on my research, I'm gonna just tell it to you better now that I read my stupid fucking notes that I can barely even read. He goes up to these two kids. It was May and her, I think, little brother, her cousin. She's 9, he was a little younger, and he's telling them, he's like, oh, I lost my dollar bill, my $1 bill. Can you help me find it? Little boy's like, fuck no. Like, I don't know, like, the little boy, like, he's not interested in this, but I guess May, like, out of the goodness of her heart, she was like, of course I'll help you find it, and she follows the man, and unfortunately, Richard beats her to death, and he hangs her body from a pipe in a parking garage. The audio for this is not gonna be as good, and I'm sorry, look, Friday shit, but he did not only beat May, he strangled her and he raped her, and he hung her body from the pipe with her blouse, so she was shirtless. So he's a fat fucking cunt. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't say it. Like, I don't know why, like, I said it before when I was reading my notes, but I guess I just forgot on the spot, but he did not spare her. He's not, like, don't, like, bro. So, and then they found her body, I think, a day after, and then he was not suspected for this murder. But it was, I think, connected to him after all, and I think he just was like, yeah, I did it. Because, you know, they do that, because they're fucking weird. So, rest in peace, May. She's her, his first victim. So his first victim is a 9-year-old girl named Mei Leung. Okay, we're gonna go with that. Now, this is months after, like, 2 months. 2 months after, on June 28th, 1984, Jenny Vinco was found stabbed in her apartment in Glassell Park, LA. So, this is all happening in California, LA. So basically, he robbed her as well, and he sexually assaulted her. On March 15, 1985. So again, now this is a big jump. Last murder was June 28, 1984. And then we jump all the way to March 15, 1985. He attempted to shoot Maria Hernandez, but she blocked the bullet with her keys. So, wait, let me clear this up. Okay. So, he goes to Maria Hernandez, crib, apartment, whatever, okay? He shoots her. He thinks he shoots her as she's opening the door, and she blocks it with her keys. And she plays dead, because she's smart. And he goes and he kills her roommate, Dale Yoshi Okazaki. Richard then proceeds to get his ass out of there. Maybe he steals something, maybe he doesn't. He just gets his ass out of there. An hour later, he's on the street being like, pick me up or something, like, whatever. This girl, Leon Veronica Yu, I'm just gonna call her Veronica because if she had, like, a name that was easier to say, why won't you use it? So Veronica Yu, she stops, obviously, because she's a cutie. She's like, and he pushes her out of her car in Montessori Park. He shot her twice with a .22 caliber gun and fled. She passed away, unfortunately. So this is like one of his biggest, craziest days. So he already thinks that he's killing 2 people, and he goes ahead and kills a 3rd one. But we know that there's only 2 people that were actually dead that day, thankfully. But crazy spree. But these are kind of considered his more, I would say, normal murders, because they're not, I would say they're not theatrical. Like, you'll see, it gets very, very theatrical, which is something I've been noticing a lot in male serial killers. Mara's survival helped get a physical description of the attacker. Curly black hair, dark eyes, tall, white, and rotting teeth. And rotting teeth, that is one thing. He had the weirdest, grossest teeth. Disgusting. He probably didn't own a toothbrush. Okay, March 27th, so 12 days after. Not even 2 weeks. The murder of Vincent Charles Zazzara and Maxine Zazzara. He broke into their home and shot okay. This is where it gets theatrical. So, Vincent Zazzara and Maxine Zazzara. He broke into their home and shot Vincent in the head. Maxine was awakened, obviously, by the sound. This is March 27, 1985. He beat her, raped her, and demanded to know where the valuables were. She was able to escape, but he then shot her 3 times and then killed her, basically. So he shot her 3 times and killed her by that. Why am I whispering that? He shot her 3 times and that killed her. Oh my god. Sorry. He then mutilated her body by carving Satanist symbols with a large kitchen knife on her chest. He carved upside down crosses, so like, you know, the satanic sign. He then attempted to have sex with the body, but failed to provoke an erection because he apparently found himself shocked that she had tried to shoot him. So, I didn't write this down, but Maxine, when she escaped, she tried to like run to like the gun, and she grabbed the gun, and I guess she tried to shoot him, but it wasn't loaded. That's what I remember. And so he, I guess, tried to fuck her dead body, and then he was like, but that's gross because she tried to kill me. What? He also removed her eyes, placed them in a jewelry box, and kept them as a souvenir. And y'all make edits of him. A large footprint from a pair of obvious shoes were left in the flower beds, which the investigators noted. It was also a shooting from a .22 caliber gun, so the police started to like connect the killings. So this is when everybody's like, oh, okay, we got a serial killer on our hands. Okay. Ooh shit. You know? Like, it gets like that. It gets like ooh shit a little bit. May 14, 1985. I don't have a lot on this, but he murdered 66-year-old Bill Doy and raped 56-year-old Lillian Doy. So he broke into their homes. I think it was kind of a similar situation as with Vincent Zazzara and Maxine Zazzara, but he just didn't kill the wife. On May 29, 1985, he drove a stolen car to Mabel Bell's house and her sister Florence Long. He beat both women repeatedly with the hammer. He also used an electrical cord to shock Lang. So Florence. Okay, pardon me. Richard raped Florence and then used a lipstick to draw a pentagram on the wall of both rooms and Mabel's legs. So I remember there are pictures of this, I think. I'll try to find them and insert them in the video. So yeah, my bad for mixing the Lillian case with this, but I wouldn't be surprised if he also beat her and assaulted her. So but take that with a grain of salt because it's not written here. It might be written somewhere, but yeah. The police then labeled the motive as satanic. So they were like, okay, these are like sacrifices to the devil. That's what people were thinking. Which, pretty good theory. Yeah, that's right, boy. The murders were random and the victims shared no obvious similarities. Because usually if you're not a huge true crime fanatic and you're just watching this because it's me, which I don't think anybody's doing that. Nobody's watching this. But usually serial killers have like a type. And like often, like even not, even like I was gonna say mostly sexual serial killers, but not even, like even like the ones that are not like even sexually driven often have a type of person that they like to kill. You know, Ted Bundy, it was like young brunette women. And Sam, girl, Berkovich, girl, come to me. Girl, what's his name? Is it Sam Berkovich? The one who lied about being schizophrenic. I think it's Berkovich. Is it? Let me know. Okay. For him, for Berkovich, it was long-haired people. Sometimes be like people would just, women and men would be chopping their hairs off, because I think it was in New York, because they were like, bitch, like people would be in their car and he would like shoot them through their windows. I think it's Sam Berkovich. Okay. So the police labeled them as, yeah, this is not because of who they are. This is because this is a satanic ritual. Richard would sometimes rob the homes of his victims, but not always. So they also could could block out like, oh, it's because of money. They're not always getting robbed. He's not always taking something. So, okay. On May 30th, so one day after, so literally the day after he murdered murdered Mabel and Florence. Okay. So on May 30th, he robbed Carol Kyle's home and raped her. That's great. Why do I say that? Pardon me. So yes, because I'm sorry that I just glitched because it says robbed the home and raped owner. But I have Carol Kyle's name up there, so I know it's Carol Kyle. So, yeah. On July 7th and 20th, he ordered his victims... So, I'm confused about that. What does that mean? What am I talking about? What? How does that make sense? Sorry? Okay. Sorry. My book's kind of fucking me up. I'm fucking myself up because I'm just talking in this. It means nothing. But I think I put it together. Okay. Okay, so he did the same thing to Sophie and, Kovanoff. Okay. So, on July 7th, he attacked the Kovanoff house, okay? And he ordered the women to the woman to show him their valuables and then asked her to swear to Satan they were not hiding any more from him. Okay? But on July 7th, before attacking the Kovanoff house, Richard Ramirez burglarized the home of Joyce Lucille Nelson and beat her to death. He repeatedly stomped on her face, leaving another Evita's shoe print behind. Okay. Then 2 nights before that... That makes no sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. 2 nights before that, he attempted to murder 16-year-old Whitney Bennett, but she survived. But she required 478 stitches. Like, I remember, like, he trapping her in her room. It was basically, like, torture in her own room. It was horrible. Okay. And he did the same thing with Sophie about the valuables, to be like, show me where your valuables are and swear to Satan that there's no more. Sorry about this part being a little messy. It's just the way that I wrote it. It kind of made no sense to me. And he murdered the Needing couple as well, which is Max Needing and Layla Needing, on July 20th, 1985. There's not a lot of details on that. Okay. Let's get into the last crime. This video is 30 minutes long already. It's okay. His last crime was on August 24th, 1985. He broke into the home of 30-year-old Bill Carnes and 19-year-old Ines Erickson. He entered their bedroom where they were both sleeping and shot Carnes 3 times. He claimed to be the Night Stalker, and he beat Erickson with his fist while she was tied up. She had to swear she loved Satan, and then he also forced her to give him all their valuables, raped her a second time, and demanded that she swore on Satan there was no more money left. Like, he's been doing this 3 times, so now. Richard then left her alive and said to her, "Tell them the Night Stalker was here." Erickson untied herself and went to neighbor for help. Bill survived. And so did she. So, fuck you. Bitch, you thought. Okay. I said it was his last thing, but I lied. Because, there are some notes here of rapes and child abductions that were not confirmed that it was Richard, but there's heavy suspicions. Okay. So it was never confirmed that Richard was responsible for the abductions that occurred during this during his killing spree. Men and children were taken from their home or sometimes the park, sexually assaulted, then abandoned. Ramirez was associated with the kidnapping because the kids had a similar physical description of their attacker, which matched Richard. Of their attacker. And a same shoe print, size 11, obvious shoes, was found on one of the crime scenes of a child abduction. So I personally believe they were 100% him, because we know he likes to molest little kids. Like, girl, that was him. Shut up. Size 11 of obvious shoe. He's the only person on earth that wears that. Okay? Okay. Let's get into something that kind of motivates you a little bit. Capture. Getting caught. This is a good one. It's a good one. It's a lot of community. And we love community. We love when community comes together and is like, fuck you. You can't treat human beings like this. I love that. Let's go. On August 30th, 1985, Richard left LA to visit his brother. He said, I don't run LA. To visit his brother in Arizona. He got to Arizona. His brother wasn't home. God damn it. When he returned to LA on the 31st, unaware that he was on the lead news story and his face was on the paper, he noticed that a lot of cops were over, like, at the train station and the bus station, and he was like, okay. But he didn't know it was about him. But still, he left because he was like, girl, I don't like cops. He also noticed Hispanic woman referring to him as El Matador, bullfighter / killer. Richard then saw his face on the front page of the newspaper, La Opinion. He fled the store out of panic. He ran across the street and attempted to carjack an unlocked Ford Mustang, but he was pulled out by 2 men. 2 men were like, doesn't that look, that's the fucking next, let's go! Pull up, he then ran. No! And then he tried to steal car keys from a woman, but her husband intervened and struck him. Obviously, he punched him in the face. Wait, no, he didn't. He struck him in the head with the fence post. How do you do that? What's a fence post? Insert picture. He got away. He ran again. But he was chased by a group of over 10 people, who soon got a hold of him and then they beat him, like, relentlessly. They just beat him. Police were called about a strange disturbance and indication of a fight, but when they arrived, they were like, fucking score, man! And they took Richard into custody. Identification. So how did they know it was him? I mean, there is no proof. Ramirez abandoned the stolen Toyota. It was, what the fuck? When did he steal a Toyota? I guess he stole a Toyota to go kill people. And then he stole the car to go see his brother. So it could be either one of those. So it was found on August 20th, 1985. The police found a single fingerprint near the rearview mirror. Luckily, his fingerprint was already in the system, and they quickly found the match. Trial and sentence. Richard Ramirez was found guilty of all 43 charges. So 13 murders, 11 sexual assaults, 5 attempted murders, and 14 burglaries. On November 19... 1989, he was sentenced to death in the California gas chamber. He unfortunately died from B-cell lymphoma before getting to die in the gas chamber. So that sucks for us. He died from B-cell lymphoma on September 7th, 2006. And that, people, is the crimes of Richard Ramirez. I don't have a what I think section because I think I let you know what I thought throughout this entire thing. He, by the way, I don't know, man. He just loves Satan. I guess that's the vibe for him. Yeah. That was it.